Yo, welcome to Music is a Day Job, where we turn music into your day job. You already know a lot of artists are struggling, and music deserves to be a day job so you can live off what you love. This is brought to you by the Concert App. The Concert App is an artist accelerator to take artists from opener to headliner to on tour and give the fan the best experience in independent live music. I'm your host, Sean. I'm also the CEO of Concert. Um, One of the biggest questions I get asked, and it's probably because of my point of view of them, but which I won't, let's say for this conversation, I won't totally put my full point of view of it. Is a record deal worth it? Now the answer to this is yes and no, because it all depends on who you are as a person. Me as an artist, also being a businessman, from where the deal that was offered to me was no. Um, but I've always been that person that I'm on the grind so much. I understand the business and I understand business in general. So, and I want to understand business in general so I can control my own business. So it never really makes sense a lot of times for me to be in a specific space where someone else controls all the business and I'm just being an artist. For those that want to just be an artist, so this is why we're going to say yes and no. And I'll split it into these two categories. If you just want to be an artist, a record deal is probably good for you. If you want to be a businessman and or businesswoman and an artist, a record deal probably isn't good for you. And the reason being for both. When I say when you just want to be an artist, that means you don't want to focus on anything else outside of your artistic point of view. And so someone has to take care of all the other stuff. But see, this is also the downside to this is when you are just an artist and someone else is taking care of your business, you open up yourself to being taken advantage of, because who can we trust enough to take care of us without their own benefit? Now, if you don't care about that, and some people will do you right. So then there are people who have been giving the fair share. But if you see in a lot of situations, a lot of artists don't feel that they're given a fair shake. So it's, but then I see artists that just want to be artists. So if you're totally like, hey, I just want to be an artist. I don't want to be anything else. I don't want to do anything else. I just want to be an artist. Then that probably is the route for you. And there's chances that you can blow up and there's chances that you can be successful. So like don't discredit it, because there's tons of artists that have made a lot of money, made enough to feed their family and got the fame they wanted. If you are in it for the fame, a deal is possibly also great for you. So let's make that two things. Like if you just want to be an artist and if you want fame, those are the two that go that way. Like, because this independent grind isn't about fame. It's definitely, you get little small compartments of fame, but you're not gonna get that worldwide recognition that you may want to do something else with. So like, I'll even give it a thing. If you're coming from an area that is, or a situation where you may be in poverty to a certain extent, um a record deal is good for you, because it will help you build structure to what you're doing. It'll help you build structure and you get to come in on something that's already built. So the grind isn't the same. The grind then becomes you doing the artist work that you need to do, and then you figuring out how to be a brand, and they are there to help you build a brand. So then in these three facets, that may be great for you. Now let's take it to this other side. Why a record deal isn't worth it. Now, a lot of people already know record deals are loans. They have to make the amount of money back plus interest on whatever they give you. So it's just like it's not very much different than getting a loan and paying it back. And you're paying it back with your hard work, and your brand is owned. So at that point, you can't do things that they don't want you to do. You have to do exactly what they want you to do inside of your contract. They own tons of different parts of your touring, your merch, everything. So this is where, if you're a business person, it might not be best for you. If you're independent and you don't care about the fame and you just want to be able to live off music, and you're kind of in my space, like I just want to live off music and be happy and do what I want to do, how I want to do it, then you can go my route. And by no means, I'm not famous. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not famous. I'm not like, I can put 1,000 people in a venue in a couple different places. I can put 300 in a couple different places, put 100 in a couple different places, and I'm happy with that. I'm not famous on Instagram or anything. I just know my around 5,000 fans that know me, and I'm happy with it. I'm happy with that. I didn't get into the game for fame. So from my point of view, my brother passed away and he did a little bit of music, and I took it on to try to follow his dreams, and it wasn't for fame. So to me, my form of success, to what some people in the industry may say, well, hey, he's not this, and this. I've just sold out at what, 500, 600 person venue the other night. I feel content. Half of their artists can't do that, but we're not gonna get into that argument, because once again, I'm not gonna talk about like the way I really feel. So let's just say, um, uh, I really like I really like doing what I want to do, and I really like controlling my own business. So it's not for me, because I'm not here for the fame. I'm here for just having fun with making music the way I want to make it and being able to live off that. So if you feel the same way I do, then yes, a record deal is not for you. You should probably join concert, build your fan base, and control your entire catalog and what you do and the music you make, and just start doing shows and getting on shows and touring yourself, so you can start calculating those fans, start calculating how much you can make per year, and start living a good life off that. To me, that's what I love. That's what I love. I love figuring that out. I love finding the fans, knowing the fans, being around the fans, going from place to place. And I watch tons of artists that can do it. I know tons of artists that can tour from place to place, and they might only put 200 300 in there in a venue per night, but they do it every 3 months. And they come back and they do it, and they do those venues, the smaller venues, and they're able to do it consistently. And they sell a lot of merch, and they do that. That's the grind I like, because the thing is I control that. So then, to me, if I had to bet on how many artists on a label make it to be what the industry calls successful. So if you're saying the artists that are big, the Drakes, the French Montanas, the Taylor Swifts, all those, if you count how many of those out of how many artists actually are on labels, the chance is very low. So then when I see the chance of that being at that space, I say to myself, what's the odds? What's the odds, and how much in my control are those odds? And if those odds aren't in my control, I just don't. That's just not my thing. I'm not a Vegas person. I'm not a person that's gonna throw it all on the table like that. I'm not gonna risk it all on something that I can't like fight my way out of. Like I can't fight my way up. So when I do it independently, I'm in control of it. How hard I work, my work ethic is what's going to determine what happens with this. And I've made great money doing this. So then I've been able to control that. So I feel happy. If you're cool with 100,000 a year, 200,000 a year, hey, that's what I want to do. But then that's when I ask people in the industry, how many of you guys actually see 200 to $500,000 or more a year? How many of you even see over like $80,000 a year for real? Just because you got a fronted amount of money, let's see how many consistently see that 80 or more a year, because a lot of them are not seeing it like that. And people can say whatever they want to say, but it's just the truth. So decide what you or who you want to be. If you want to be just the artist, as I said, go one way. If you're coming from a struggling situation, you might want to go that way, because then that gives you some guaranteed money to get yourself off the ground and put yourself in a safety net that can hopefully get you into a better space. If you want the fame and you love the fame, take the deal, because the fame has a cost too. And if you want that fame, they can give it to you. But if you want to control what you do, and you want to live and control how you live, and you want to be able to do what you want, and you want to be able to have fun doing this, and you want no one saying this, it probably isn't worth it then. So determine what side of the world you're on and go from there.